Hello. I have a bit of a surprise mouse today because this is a mouse that I thought I would never use. I thought the heat death of the universe would precede me ever using this mouse, but someone named DaRealSpir or Spear was very kind as to ship out this mouse to have me borrow and try for a video. And first of all, thank you so much for doing that. There are only 30 of these in the whole world, and it's insane to me that I have one in my hands right now. But I should talk a little bit about what exactly it does and why it's interesting. So the small bit of backstory, if this is the first video you've seen from me, is that I'm really big into fingertip mice. I want to do a video on mostly the HSK Pro for the main channel about just how I think it's the best mouse for like allowing you to articulate the mouse with your fingertips, you know, having the most focus placed on your fingers. The one mouse that I brought up as like, oh, it could be better in theory, I'm not really sure, is this one. The Titan 1 by Precision Gaming Gear, I think is what he's being dubbed. He goes by Olaf. Either way, really, really interesting design. He's had a few other mice that are also quite interesting, but this one in particular really stands out to me as being just having a lot of good ideas. So the good idea number one is that he's able to make it so thin and small because of the way he's designed the right click. So for this one, you push your ring finger into the mouse in order to right click, as opposed to, you know, having a second discrete button to let you grip it like a pen, right? So the idea is that when you're gripping a pen, you have your fingers all controlling this very precise point. That idea, let me see if I can do a good comparison here. You know, holding it like this, move over, holding it like this. It's quite similar in the way that you would grip the object. And I guess the idea is that because it adds so much precision for pens, surely it should do the same for mice. And generally, I agree that having the buttons be close to the pad, having the grip width be small, always contributes to this feeling of it being more precise. So I think it makes sense. Speaking of buttons being close to the pad, the switch for M1 is back here. It's a cantilever design. Don't know how to pronounce that. And supposedly it has better like click latency compared to even like the highest tier mice on the market, just because of this strange design. But it's really cool. Really cool idea. Allows them to get the clicks really far down and close to the pad here, as well as having that supposed benefit of being faster. I'm skeptical if it actually makes a difference, but it is cool that he managed to pull it off, and it feels totally fine. So when I first got this mouse out of the box, I was not really sure how to grip it, to be honest, because it's got a lot of strange side curvature here, if you can see. And typically when I have a mouse grip, like a claw, it's more like cupping the mouse as opposed to like this squeezing a point. So, you know, these three fingers make sense. Just how you would grip a pen. These two have been kind of a problem. But I did notice that as soon as I tried to move an on-screen object, like my my cursor, it became a lot more intuitive, which is a cool feeling where like, I have no idea how to hold this object into like, okay, this makes sense now. Other downside is that I really could not use my index finger to move the mouse up and down until I cut my nails. And like my nails aren't long right now. I had to cut my index like extra short just to have it be mobile. So I'm gonna play around with a few different grips. This is the one that I've mostly settled on for now, where I have this index and thumb being really close, ring finger on the side, and the other two are kind of like, but on violin, like your third and fourth finger are not like super involved in like the articulation of the bow. They more just kind of like rest on top and add a bit of stability as opposed to actually contributing to the process here. And that's kind of the philosophy I've taken. It's just very lightly pressing and having them kind of be secondary in the motion here. But it is a bit strange because typically my pinky is a lot more involved with aiming. But anyway, other things I want to mention. Cable. It's out to the side. So far, I don't hate it. I think it's definitely better than the M2K, but it's really going to come down to how it feels when I'm like doing big swipes. Because it definitely is moving. And definitely is rubber. Right now I've got like a pseudo bungee with a drawer here that's just very lightly holding it in place. Enough to keep it from, dangling around. Ideally, I'd probably have like a mouse bungee under my desk and then attach it there and like feed it through my legs or whatever. But yeah, so that's what we got going on here. I have not used this mouse in game yet. So this will be the first real test. Let me reduce my camera size. I'm gonna keep it as a little bigger than normal just because I feel like the grip changing over time will be kind of interesting. Okay. Here we are. So jumping, I have on right click. It doesn't feel horrible so far. It's actually better than I expected. I'm worried that like, let's see. Oh, I have double jump on right now. I didn't mean to. But yeah, I also did not get far into the run. Like I haven't at all. So I don't think I have alt fire bound, so I have to use my pistol for a bit. So here you go. First aiming experience. This is strange. Oh my god, you see that? That's one thing that one of my friends mentioned is that it's really easy to have the sensor over rotate. Oh, that's one thing I want to mention as well, where the sensor is kind of in line with my ring finger, but not the three main fingers gripping the mouse. And I feel like that's a bit of a blunder. Because I feel like it would be much more intuitive if where most of the articulation is happening is where the sensor would be. But it also would be kind of strange to have the sensor so far forward. I don't know, I think it's probably worth it. I want to try a few games with this. It doesn't feel terrible so far. It's definitely interesting. I think the cable is a bit more of a nuisance than I would like it to be. We'll see though. Maybe if I bungee it up later, it might be okay. Also, I brought out my kitchen scale, and it's clocking in at like between 5 and 28 grams. It's hard to get an exact read because of the cable. It definitely does feel lighter in the hand, but it also might be because of the increase in precision. Okay, I don't know. Let me try putting more pressure on like the index and thumb here to have it be like, this is my point of aim, you know? As opposed to having it be more centered on the mouse button. I've been told by both the people who I know that have this mouse, Spear and Dolphin Rider, they both say that it has a bit of a learning curve where like at first they didn't like it. Well, actually, I don't know how much Spear likes this mouse. But Dolphin Rider said like, yeah, first few days I really did not like this mouse at all, and I kind of grew on him. It is weird doing like the kind of micro tracking stuff. I don't know how much fingertip mobility I actually have with this thing, because like I can't articulate it laterally like at all, really. What if I do like full pen grip? I just like put these fingers on the pad basically, maybe I'll rest this one here and just kind of use the front of the mouse to aim. Because then I can articulate it more laterally. I've got like the OS player pinky on the pad and tech for stability. Something I did back in the day for OS was I copied Cookie's grip. Back when he was like just got banned, Or rather, I started playing when he got banned, and like as I got further into the community, I'm like, what the hell? This guy is like still ahead of the curve, even though he's been banned for a year. So I started trying to take inspiration from his playstyle. And one of the things I did was I would use a pen between my third and fourth finger. I don't know why I did that, but I know some other people who I've gotten close with also did the same. I don't know how common it is, but back in the day, there's pretty much nobody doing it. I think Nico did, but I didn't know that at the time because he was also banned. I ended up naturally putting my pinky back on the mouse, which is interesting. But yeah, I copied Cookies' grip because alright, I don't see anybody with my weird grip, and I'm kind of concerned that it's going to hold me back because it does feel like my range of motion is like less significant compared to when I have between my first normal pen grip. I forgot the dual fang. I don't think that'll make too much of a difference for my aiming experience, but I do like this gun. Obviously, I use it in literally every video. But yeah, that one thing I would do is he would use his pinky as like a point of stability on the tablet. So I adopted that grip for OS, but also like to try to maximize the amount of practice I would get with becoming used to it, I would use it for like writing stuff too. So I wrote my SATs with the Cookies grip, which is such a funny idea. This is also reminding me that how good Jades are. I picked up some slower like budget PTFE skates for glass for the Kazemi because that one I wanted a little bit more control, and it was so smooth that it didn't really matter how like rough or like unsmooth the skates themselves were. Once I get like TS stuff going, it's gonna be a real illuminator as to like how stable this mouse is. That's where I think it will struggle, is fast flicks. But in terms of tracking right now, it feels pretty good. Also, I'm just good. This strange like right side R&B is actually like surprisingly intuitive. I'll take this. Let's refresh and get nothing of value. Maybe the I'll buy this just in case I need ammo size or mag size instead. I also naturally have a bit of a tilt to my mouse grip. So I'm kind of like on an angle like this as opposed to just being like straight. And that is making the cable a little bit easier for me to handle. Because I'm like almost resting on it. This is not bad either. That's pretty cool actually. I'll see. If I get let me check my scrolls first. Skateboard is okay. I think I will go max size then. And then I'll just upgrade this for a bit. Oh my god, we're gonna have crazy max size. Maybe this is actually good. 288 is kind of funny. Oh, it's based on time. Okay. Wait, what the hell? They're already here. I held E to start the next wave, and they've already been spawning. Alright, here we go. Let me lock in. I think this will be the first impressions thingy that I do where I also, what's it called? I also play Battlefield 5. I really want to give that a go. Oh, this actually could be a fun run. If I stick with Magazine Gemini and just go for all shots, they could kill pretty fast. Unless I suck. The 180s are really strange. I'm not entirely sure why. It definitely feels like the fingers are playing a slightly more passive role in the aiming process. Like they're involved with everything, but to like, you can't. Let's see if I. No, I mean that's mostly wrist. See vertical. Okay, actually, let me do it quick. Range of motion test. I'm using the same DPI, same obviously. Starting with this rock. Fingertip range of motion. And then HSK. Ah! Oh my god. Let me not die. It definitely feels like I have less range of motion with just my fingertips, which makes sense because I can't really articulate it with my back two fingers. And maybe even like the curvature of the mouse itself because they're limiting in a little bit. Like all the buttons are curved inward, or concave, I should say. And that makes it so you can't really have as much mobility compared to like a flat surface. It doesn't feel bad though, for sure. If nothing else, I definitely respect the idea. Like there's definitely some good ideas here. Oh no. Okay, I'm doing all right. This doesn't feel bad. Let me try and push flick speed because that'll be kind of telling. The stability is so bad, and it's me obviously, but like it's hard how different everything is. Okay, hold on. Oh, I'm dying. I have sword guard. It should be okay. I don't think I've really seen any like super aim nerds use this mouse yet. No pain in my hand yet either. I'll play for a bit and talk about some other stuff. Sorry if you... But yeah, let me give my initial first impressions. So far, I am liking it. I don't know if it feels the same. I mean, it is a very similar niche to the HSK, where the fingers are so active in every type of aim, right? It just has slightly less range of motion. So I think that if you were like a super high sense fingertip player, this may be worse. The stability is not as bad as I initially anticipated. One's kind of getting to terms with it a little bit. Let's see. I might do a little bit of like TR denial on TF2 just for like some of the wider motions and for like movement and like turning. It's like budget MGE. Where is the cat, man? You. Oh wait, don't kill me, please. Nah, we're good. For fun? Overflick. Yeah, the post-flick stability is a little hard, especially when I'm slightly uncomfortable. It'll be more obvious in Battlefield, I feel. We'll see. Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about my updated opinions on the other peripherals that I've been using. So with the HTR, I had to get some background footage for the podcast that I did with Viscose and Miscolors. Oh my god. And I kind of struggled to do so with the HTR. Like I wasn't as warmed up, and I had to engage my like wrists and arms to a degree that I wasn't totally comfortable with. Whereas with the HSK, like, I don't know, like my fingertips are usually more consistent, I guess. Oh my god, that was bad. Accurate, but very unstable. So, halfway there, I guess. The amount of emphasis it places on the fingertips is pretty noteworthy. Like, the difference, I should say. And I don't know if I can... I mean, I'm gonna stick with it and give like my full opinions. This is still very, very much in its infancy. I've only played a few games. Like I haven't really been playing that much FPS lately. It's outside of these videos. Played a bit of Battlefield 5 and that's about it. And for the Artisan Zero, I actually forget like how much skates actually matter on cloth. I always thought that like Oh yeah, with glass it's really important because like bad skates will just be horrible, like unsmooth. But like speed difference of a bad skate versus like a jade or tiger ice is quite noteworthy. I'm tensing a little bit too much for this like strange object, I feel. And it's making my motions a bit rigid. Thinking about putting on grip tape, but honestly like this, maybe it's like the cheese graterness of, of this object. It's kind of like giving me a little bit of extra grip. It's just crazy how much I had to cut my nails just to like have it be functional as like a fingertip mouse though. Otherwise, like when I would pull down a little bit, I would immediately run into my fingernail and then like can't articulate it. Okay, I need to drop bullet light. I have no ammo. Oh wait, there's a wall behind. That's not good. Please don't shoot me, catfish man. Thank you. I didn't kill him. Sword guard 3. Can I get ammo extractor 1? Oh, okay. That'll do. Never mind. I'm chilling. I mean, ammo extractor would still be good for the damage, but I never have to reload again, at least. I can dump skateboarder whenever. I don't know. I feel like I am lacking awareness right now. I keep getting hit in the back. I need to choose my words wisely there. So yeah, Artisan 0. I forgot to finish my thoughts there. Sorry. But yeah, so I've been using these like budget PTFE skates that I was using for the Kazemi, and then I just got this mouse, which has like fresh. I don't know how fresh, but it's got J's on them. I'm pretty sure, and it's good. Like I forgot how fast this pad was because my skates were getting worn like relatively quickly, probably due to the cheap nature of the skates that I was using. Like, it was just fucking like $2, so I can't really complain. But yeah, I'm back to enjoying this pad quite a bit. For a little bit, I was like, yeah, it seems to get worn quite fast. Given that like it feels much slower than I did on the first day that I tested it. And I know that like Viscose has like fucking 18 of these guys, so I thought maybe that was just an issue to the pad, but no, it was definitely a skate problem for me. But speaking of skates, I also bought the Kainave showed me these skates called the Silver Foxes, and if you have like a new AliExpress account, you can get them for $1 for like a set of dots. Let me show you real quick because I have them right here. Boom. Look at all these guys. $1. I guess 2 plus tax, but still, like that's pretty crazy. And they are comparable to Jades in terms of speed at first impressions, at least. They're a bit flatter than most of the popular dot skates though, which is interesting. I don't fully know how that would affect the aiming experience. Uh-oh, I've been grabbed. Sword Guard 3 just saved me so hard. Oh, that was bad. Let's see. I feel like I can kind of get my contact on the pad to be more of an asset. Where like, I'm using... It's kind of aiming with an open hand, where it feels like most of the friction in this aiming process is my hand. Interesting. I do kind of want to try, like, what happens if you just attach a sensor to your finger? Like, wear a glove, get a sensor on your finger with the mouse skate nearby, and then how does that feel? But I don't know, maybe articulating an object is slightly better. But aside from that, this is with the 0 mid. Like, I'm still liking it a lot, especially now that it's feeling faster again. The one thing that I've found to be really annoying though is that it is extremely, it's like a cat hair magnet. I've never had such a hard time getting cat hair off of my pad before. These umbrellas are the bane of my existence because their headshot hitbox is like broken. Okay, let's try a new mouse grip. I'm gonna try moving my thumb to be resting near the sensor and like on top of the wire here. I feel like that could be interesting. It's no longer got that pen feel, but it's more, oh, that's interesting. I kind of like that. I'm over flicking a little bit now because of the sensor position change, I guess. Well, it's not really changing, but relative to my thumb, which is so involved in my aiming process. Oh, that was bad. I gotta move my arm here. I should get spores, I think. I'm starting to fall off. Next time I see a shotgun on the ground, I'll switch. It's interesting how different. This feels much more like traditional mousing. But like just the small change in position in my thumb made such a big difference. Okay, what about if I put my ring finger like on this little ridge here? I don't know if I like how much like variation in grip there is allowed to be for this mouse. Oh my god, that's crazy. What the hell? Let me go. I'm still stuck. He broke me. I'm in the wall. Okay, okay. Wait, I have double jump. I just realized. I've had it this whole run. I've never used it once. It's probably why my damage is also feeling kind of mid. Is that I'm... Oh no. Okay, we're good. My ring finger's naturally gone back to the little slot. Okay, what about I go back now? How does that feel? Really strange. What the heck? Yeah, I don't think I like this as much personally. It gives a sense of the mouse being like tiny, which is cool, but uh-oh. I'm blind and dumb. Whoa, I was gonna go up there. I don't know. I feel like my TS is really bad. Like the tracking feels fine. Maybe it's because like my fingers are so involved with post-flick micros or like deceleration. I'm not really sure. I don't hate it for sure. But it definitely feels like I have to use my wrist more for these like lateral movements, which like the HDR, like creates some issues. Namely that I'm not as good with them. Okay, let's go back. Oh my god. Oh my god, good landing on me. This definitely feels more familiar. I don't know if better is the right word, but familiar for sure. I think after this, I'll switch games. I'm not going to go through the whole game here. Or maybe I'll just go for glass cannon and then probably die because of it. The one downside is that it's hard to hit the mouse too, because at least you have your finger in like the normal spot here, it's easy to press mouse too because you have like this opposing force from your thumb, right? But when you're doing it, when you have your thumb back here, the force is like slightly misplaced. It's not directly opposing. It's like on an angle. Oof, that was a bad overflick. Alright, let's lock in a little bit. See what I can do. Because my damage is like good now. Okay. I'm starting to feel like this thing has potential. Oh, that's not good. Real life. Thank you, Sword Guard. I do so much damage on them in the air because of the air surfer plus mid-air strike. I lost my double jump. It's just like TF2. I will say that the place where my pinky is resting, when I'm doing like this fairly intensive aim, I am noticing, well, it's like sharp, you know? The fact that I'm resting it on this kind of pointed area of the mouse. Same with my thumb. I think it's going to be a lot more obvious in Battlefield 5. I panic and stuff. I grip the mouse too tightly. But like that felt good. Like I'm no longer having these rotational issues. Alright, let's go back to the other grip real quick. So like having it kind of wedged between my immediately under flicking, which makes sense with the sensor being so far back. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. I think if the sensor was placed next to where you would place the thumb with this intended position, I could see it being better. You could probably get used to it too, but I don't know. I really don't like sensor position being so far back. It just creates this weird relationship between fingertip and wrist arm aim that is just uncomfortable for me. If I were to main this mouse, I'd probably put grip tape where my thumb is right now, so it like covers the hole. But then again, like the hole is kind of keeping it in place too, so I don't know. Let's try to release more tension. I think I'm a little bit tense still, just because it's a strange object to have in my hands. It doesn't feel like unintuitive to hold though, I will say. Okay, I was supposed to die, but I'm not doing a good job. Probably because Sword Guard is just a broken ability. Do I have Blade of Bloom? I do. That's cool. Yeah, with this position of the thumb, it definitely feels familiar. It's just like good at what it does now. I don't know. There's part of me that wants to try it in the traditional spot, but this has become just like a mouse that I'm enjoying using and like am translating skill to quite easily. Whenever I would use the 3D printed mice that have the stranger positions, it would always affect my aim for like a little bit afterwards too, which has not been true for most other like weird aim stuff that I've been trying. Like, I don't know, it's affected me for much longer. Rotation that big of an issue. And what else? Excel didn't take that long either. Probably a little bit more than like a day, but not as bad as the weird sensor positions. I feel like right now the main benefit of this mouse, I also wish I had movement stuff, is the fact that you have such a thin object to work with. That's giving it this feeling of precision that I don't think you can get out of any traditional mouse. It's a feeling though. I wouldn't necessarily say it's like just straight up better or anything like that. I think this mouse definitely has a potential though. It's really interesting, and it feels like once you really get to grips with it, it becomes like a natural object in your hands. You learn to release that tension. It could be insane. Doesn't feel like overly light either, I'd say. This cable is bothering me a lot less than I thought it would as well. Okay, forget this. Let's go play some Battlefield. I know. How's NA doing? Eris is not playable. Underground. Yo, give me in. Give me in. Wait, we're so up. Also, I forgot to mention the scroll wheel is kind of horrible. It's super, super stiff. I cannot imagine like playing a source game where b-hopping is super relevant with this thing. I use scroll wheel to slide right now, so it's something I use in this game. Okay, dude. This game is good, I think. That is crazy. What? So that guy. Alright. Oh, I shouldn't have reloaded yet. Underflick to that angle. No! Let me out! No! Who's that? Cricket? Mouse lifting is a bit strange too. Not like to... like resetting my sensor. Not like to stop a flick. What are you? No, I'm good. Actually, I will not be peeking that prone individual. Alright. What was that? I like spun out. It was pretty terribly handled. I was kind of panicking because I had no ammo. Or less ammo. Switched off too early from the first guy. That fucking look away was so funny though. Alright, Scuba 22's already ruining everything as usual. I'll heal you, I guess. My micro tracking feels kind of bad. Okay. So that just happened. No. I don't know what that is, honestly. Is it like a cat hair in my sensor? That's interesting, though. I really cannot make heads or tails of what's happening there. Because it's not like me like lifting the mouse at the wrong time and then causing that to happen. Surely that's like a sensor spin out. Because there's no way I can move that fast vertically. Oh my god, I'm dead. He's gonna blind shot me. Oh, we're good. Oh, that's not good. There's something about my flick technique is like causing this to fuck up. Is it like when I have it? I can't do it on purpose. It's only when I'm trying to flick fast. Let's see. Even like mouse lifting is like not a problem. I don't understand what's happening. And it's something I cannot replicate with intent. Oh my god, that was bad. I feel like HSK, that's a good clip, but that's so sad actually. Maybe I'll try the normal position here, where stability matters a little bit more. Maybe this like slightly further back center position is good. These are all bodies. Whoa! That one I wasn't even flicking. I don't understand. Is it Battlefield 5? Doesn't play nice with this sensor? Doesn't make any sense. Get rolled. 360 down noob. Is it when I press Alt? That's my ADS button? It's so weird that I can't make it happen with intent, but like every time I'm under pressure, it happens. Oh my god. Aduba Jana down? We're alive. This is big. Kill the snipers in the room above me. Bob's your uncle. Overflicked. Fast correction at least. Alright. Someone's coming for me, I think. Nope. Really bad under tracking. Damn. It is interesting to see like what carries over from gunfire and what doesn't. And the doesn't is so far seeming like the weird side grip that I had. Tracking just got really, really hard. I just had no confidence. But also maybe the fact that my crosshair is lying to me. Well, it's not lying to me. Not lying to me, it's just like not centered. Kind of wish my crosshair overlay would work. Oh, dude. Wait, is it my DPI button? My DPI just got higher. How is that possible? Is there a DPI button? I'm so confused. My sense is so high. No. Okay. That guy was not even a pixel on my screen. No tracers, no nothing. He's just fucking beaming me. I should have known, but I thought maybe I can get to the box in time. Oh, thank you. This guy made it to the box. See, the idea was a skill issue. That was really, really bad. What? Okay. Man. Wait, I heard a smoke. Thank you. My fucking goat. I feel like with the HSK I would not struggle so hard with that particular fight. Even with like super high sense, like it just feels a little bit harder to engage in these kinds of scenarios. Speak wide. No, I'm not good enough. I feel like I'm playing so bad, and I'm still keeping up with the Stormgewehr sweats at least. Oh my god, my mouse cam has been twisted. Hello, it's been a few hours since I recorded that video, and I forgot to do an outro. Kind of ended abruptly. But I have a few thoughts that I want to wrap up. And I wrote it all for a description, but it's so much that I thought I might as well read it out. I have some background footage that I have prepared just in the background, and then get these thoughts out there in the video itself. So in regards to the spin out issue that I was having at the end, I did some research, and supposedly it happens when you hit M1 while the mouse is in the air. I still can't do it intentionally, but it does explain why it wasn't happening in Gunfire, because I use left alt or spacebar effectively to shoot. I don't really use M1 for anything. And in games like Battlefield 5, I do click M1 more forcefully as a way to generate stopping power under pressure, which I wouldn't recommend, but it's something that is a bad habit of mine. So yeah, the diagnosis makes sense, and I'll see what I can do to fix it. But I have no idea how I changed my DPI. There is no DPI button on my mouse. I cut out part of the video where I'm trying to hit like the side of the scroll wheel because I think that's the DPI button. I just couldn't. It looks like a button, I guess. It looks like a Tamagotchi reset button or something. I don't know. That's a terrible comparison, but yeah, there's no DPI button. The way you change the DPI is by holding down one of the two mouse buttons while you plug it in. If it's left button, you get 400. If it's right button, you get 1600. So I don't know. I don't know what I did. My friend's theory is that there was some static from the pad or like my chair that turned off the mouse for a moment. And because I was holding mouse 2 while that was happening, which I have mouse 2 as jump, and I don't think I was jumping in the clip where I 180 and I start flailing because I have 1600 DPI out of nowhere. I don't know. It's so strange. But yeah, I went back to the HSK after using the Titan 1 for a while, and it felt wide. This mouse has always felt quite small to me, even when I'm used to it. So it was strange to have it feel like such a large, like almost clumsy object. And it makes me think that there is potential to this idea of having an extremely thin mouse, because I feel like if the front of this mouse was a bit thinner, it would feel a bit more precise. So there's something there, I feel. But the Titan 1 might be a bit far. During the Battlefield section, I also complained about my tracking a lot. And I think it's because my fingers are usually playing a very prominent role in my horizontal micro adjustments. I guess I could turn on my camera real quick, show you what I mean. Let's see, where's the Titan? When I hold the Titan, like a pen here, my range of motion is like this, because it's mostly driven by these 3 fingers. If it was like a pen, I could rotate it like this as well and get more horizontal movement this way. But because it's a rigid, flat point of contact, I have to move it laterally. I have to articulate it like this. Whereas with the HSK, I also have my other fingers to aid and give me a greater range of motion. So I think that in terms of pure fingertip mobility, the Titan 1 is not necessarily better. And yeah, I complained about my tracking a lot in the Battlefield 5 part of the video, because losing out on how easy it is to make these horizontal adjustments was a big problem for the way that I like to aim. I just have less range of motion and just cannot perform micro adjustments or any sort of like horizontal tracking with the same level of ease that I do with the HSK. And I think that's a pretty big reason as to why I kept choking all those clips. It's actually painful for me to watch though. Like I got like 2 God situations between I think B and C, and I choked both of them because I just had a piece of unrefined iron ore in my hands. Man, it hurts. It hurts. I also don't think it was as big of an issue in Gunfire, because I can compensate for my inability to make micros, or I wouldn't say inability, the increased difficulty of making micros by using movement. So I can either use the movement itself to make the adjustment for me, or I can anti-mirror and then make it more of a wrist-driven movement. But either way, yeah, I can kind of circumvent the issue. And for the sensor position, it could be making it worse too. When I'm holding the mouse at the front, the sensor is pretty far back. It's not like in my palm like the other fingertip mice I've used, but it does feel a little bit unintuitive to have that part of the mouse, like the part of the mouse that is responsible for all of the articulation and fine movements, not be where the sensor is. I'm not really sure. This is an idea more than something I'm certain of because I've never tried the alternative of having the sensor in the front. But it makes sense to me if you're gonna have it be the same grip and like style of movement as like a tablet pen, to have the sensor where like the pen part would be, you know? I feel like it's strange to have it would be like a tablet pen where the sensor is like 1 centimeter down from where the actual point of the pen is. It just seems strange. I don't know. Again, it's just an idea and it would make sense to me, but not everything that makes sense to me is true in reality. But yeah, I think the main issue with the Titan 1 is that it doesn't actually give you a greater range of motion than the HSK. And that's also made worse by the fact that the back of the mouse doesn't really allow your ring and pinky to do that much. It's just a very strange shape. And I'm gonna try things. I think having my fingers be like, I'm gonna have 3 fingers or 4 fingers at the front section of the mouse. Maybe that might help, and then just have my pinky kind of hang out. That might be an asset to mobility. I think grip tape will also help by having it so my index finger can drive more of the motion on its own, as well as, although I think the cable, I mentioned in the gunfire section that I don't think it's that big of an issue, but now I'm not so sure, because the main issue that I have with the cable, okay, it's not as bad as the M2K cable. It doesn't flop around, it doesn't drag. It's pretty good for a rubber cable. The problem is that it prevents your thumb from getting all the way down to the pad. And with the HSK, that's kind of how my natural resting position is. With the Titan, I have to angle it a little bit more than I would like to. And I don't know. I feel like with the way that this mouse is shaped, it would benefit from the ability to have it be touching the pad. Just because it makes thumb-based movements, or just like fingertip-driven movements in general, a little bit more intuitive. The other issue is that if you try to have your thumb really close to the pad, then you have the cable kind of getting squished. Not necessarily putting a lot of pressure on it, but it's enough to where that cable is going to create resistance for your fingertip mobility. So yeah, I think it's a much bigger issue than I originally thought. I think I would have rather had it come out the front. But yeah, it solves some issues, creates some new ones. But again, this is all from like one day, like 4 hours of playtime, maybe even less than that. So really just take everything that I'm saying with a significant grain of salt. And again, like all of this is with respect, because this is a really cool idea. There are some really cool things going on here, and I respect so much the innovation and creativity that goes behind this mouse. So yeah, the Titan 0 or whatever the new version is called, that one I don't think I'll ever get to try. I don't know. It depends if I don't know, Spear or Joshua Dolphin Rider ever get one and want to lend it out again. I don't know anybody else who's that deep into the peripheral stuff. It would be cool, but yeah, this is probably where the most advanced version of this mouse that I will try. Again, really cool idea. I respect it so much. Just, it's got some pretty big design issues, I think, that make it difficult to main. But again, I'll try my best. I'll try to fix the issue that I had, as well as test out a bunch of different grips to see which one works the best. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.